Before starting this review, I would like to give you a bit of a warning. This review is going to be a fucking rant. I am going to say a lot of bad shit about IMs and reviewers and myself and a lot of things. So if you want to still live in a bubble, that ignorant blissful bubble you have, or you don't have, or you easily offended, I guess, you may leave the video here. But if you want to swallow the red pill and grow a pair, or like be more informed, I guess that's the what do you call that, the politically correct way to say it, then watch the video until the end. The past few days listening to the KZ DQ6 is definitely one of the worst, absolutely most disgusting experience I have reviewing IMs. And I've reviewed absolutely shitty IMs before, and I've tried crap before, but none of all those IMs can give me the type of unsureness, I guess, and uneasiness of this IM right here, these fuckers right here. Now I am not a very nice person, you might, yeah, newsflash, I'm not a very nice person in terms of how I speak. But I don't show any bullshits in reviewing anything, in saying anything. It's all 100% real. If it's shit, I'm gonna say it's shit. I'm not gonna recommend it to, like, if you like shit bass, you might like this IM. So if you like bass, buy this IM. No, I'm not gonna say things like that. That's not the point of a review. I'm not gonna recommend a piece of shit like... I'm not gonna say, if you want your ears to bleed, I think the SSR is a good IM to buy. That's just not me. But in all of that, the KZ DQ6 is not that bad. That's the problem with these. These are actually fairly decent. These are actually pretty okay. These are actually good for a KZ. The thing about people and KZ, like, a lot of people hated this brand. Like, more beginners love the KZ because they do that V-shaped KZ signature type of sound. But a lot of pretentious audiophiles love to hate on KZs, including myself. I'm a huge dick when it comes to KZs, but with that dickiness, I managed to create this type of standard that is very low in reviewing KZ IMs. So this is very, very good in a KZ standard, which means it's good for the price. I don't know if I'm actually, like, over analyzing this IM. It just sounds very, very, very weird to me. None of the IMs that I've tried before can give me the sheer amount of headaches that the KZ DQ6 managed to give me. It's like when you when you got a fever, you have that type of blank feeling in your head, right? It's that type of vertigo-ish headaches that makes you feel like sick or something. Yeah, that's the headache I got from this IM. And the first day I've tried this for a lot of times, and every single time I got that headache. It's not the usual ear fatigue type of headache when you listen to a lot of high frequencies. No, it's not that. But it's like that weird type of fever headaches. I was afraid that I actually got the coof, but it's actually this. When I stopped listening to these, like in 2 hours, the headaches are all gone. So it's not a coof, like, thankfully, I guess. Okay, that's the first rant. Okay, that's the fucking first rant. There's gonna be a lot more then. The build is the build is pretty like KZ like type of build. It's the shell is like made out of resin, or yeah, the usual type of KZ plastics and the usual material of the KZ metal faceplate. It's actually fairly weighty in the construction. It feels solid, like, well, actually a lot of KZs feels pretty solid, I guess. Though the shape is very different than what they usually do. It's a bit more CIM type of shape, which I actually favor better than the original KZ shape, which this point right here usually gives me a bit of ear fatigue, like it hits the back of, it's not the back, it's the inside of my ear. It's not very pleasant, I guess. While these, they have this type of dip here, which fixes the problem. So yeah, the comfort is actually very good. The cable is KZ and the box is KZ. The ear tips, however, is very thin type of ear tips. It seals very well, and it's definitely part of the problem. And I will explain it in the bass when I get to the bass. Now, the bass, fucking hell, the bass is fucking weird. The bass is fucking weird. When you listen to a set of speakers, you have that. Usually, you have that a center channel, like left and right. It's, I don't know what to call that type of speaker. The one that not only have the left and right channel, but you have the center channel, the left, right, and the surround and the subwoofer. The bass is very disconnected from the whole mix, and it's not good, not in a good way. It's not in a type of well controlled, separated bass, but it's more of a nuisance in listening to anything at all. Like the bass, the mid bass is not very punchy, it's not very strong, it doesn't hit very hard, but the sub bass is fucking annoying. This IM is just annoying in general. Their tonality, however, is not bad. It's actually okay, I guess. It's warmish tonality, but these sound fucking, the bass sounds fucking weird. It's bloom, it's slow, it's annoying, it's overbearing, it just muddies out everything. There are 3 dynamic drivers here. 3 fucking dynamic drivers. It's like a science experiment. Like a science fair experiment. The thing is, I can see the 2 drivers up there. It looks very similar. I think they're the same type of driver. However, the big driver here, I think this makes that bass. In my experience listening to these, I don't really have any problem with the 2 drivers up there. But the sheer incoherency of this the bigger brother, and recreates that imbalanced type of bass, that weird bass thing that's always present and slower and much slower than the mid-range or the treble, just ruins everything. If they would only fix the coherency of these, and by maybe adding, like, making the bass a bit faster, I guess. It's like shit like these makes something that is might be worthwhile into something other crap. Like when you have the blondes have a not so pleasant bass. It's blooming, it's bloated, it's weird. It's not weird, but it's more uncontrolled bass, which I fucking despise. But when you use the a wide bore ear tips, like a wider bore ear tips, it kind of fixed the problem, because this have problem in the bass and nowhere else. Maybe a little bit recessed upper mid range, but that's not a huge problem. It's actually pretty favorable if you listen to a lot of crappy music, I guess. I'm not going to kink shame you or like taste shame you or anything, but a lot of not so well recorded music sounds pretty decent with the blondes. So yeah, the problem when using these with that is the bass still sounds kind of weird. First of all, the bass still sounds kind of weird, but then there's another problem, but we're gonna talk about that later. The mid-range is very warm. It's the upper mid-range is very recessed. It's much like the blonde type of recessed upper mid-range. It's thick, it's warm, it's luscious, but it's not for all types of vocals, I guess. The tone is actually pretty decent, if not for the treble. The treble is fucking imbalanced. Excuse me. When you listen to the Eddymatics ER2XR, I guess the treble there is not very balanced, but it's not the same way as here. These have that type of recessed upper mid-range and lower treble, but it just spikes up at like 6 to 7k until about 8 to 9k, and it made the sound very, very weird too. I don't really know. The big driver deals with the weird ass sub bass. The graph goes like this: sub bass and lower mid range and just the like 2k, like 1k, 2k and up, and then down, and then up, and then down. I guess that's where the drivers do their thing. Like one driver does this, and another does this, and then another does it, and they just glue the things together. I don't know how the fuck they make this sound like that, but it sounds not pleasant and weird as fuck. So yeah, I would repeat it like a lot of times. It's the treble when you use these gets a bit hotter and sibilant. It's in some type of vocals when you listen to what do you call that? Me and Your Mother, I guess. What? Childish Gambino. Yeah, Childish Gambino. Yeah, the Me and Your Mother, I guess. That track. When he has that type of raspy type of a like screaming type of voice, like his belt is very raspy, very gritty, I guess. With the boost there in the 7k, the vocals just sound very, very forward, and it is due to the fundamental tones are are being so boosted that they sound artificial. Everything here sounds bloody artificial. It's the incoherency here just ruins the sound that is actually pretty good. I know when you watch this video, you may ridicule me and say it's a cheap IM. It's $20-30. Like, we don't fucking care about that. Like, people who buy these IMs usually don't care about that, or they just don't notice that much. But the thing is, I am not going to recommend these. I can't. Although they may be decent, and they are pretty decent, I guess, for a KZ, and a lot of people probably gonna like them. I am not going to fucking recommend these. In my opinion, just buy something like the E2K, or if you want detached, buy the blondes, and go either blondes. Either blondes are good, I guess. I favor the blonde 03s over the blonde 01s, but blonde 03s with white bore, of course. The regular blonde 03s just fucking suck. But I don't think this competes. I don't think this actually competes. Like, people hype these. Like, why the fuck would people hype these? I'm bewildered. Like, this is, maybe I kind of get it. I mean, people don't pay attention to that type of detail when listening to this IM. Maybe I'm just too nitpicky, or maybe I'm just asking too much, I guess. But a lot of other IMs delivers better than these. For example, I would 100% recommend you to just don't buy anything. If you're looking for a first IM, this is a good start. The Sony AMH755. But if it's too difficult to find one, get the blondes, blonde 01 or the blonde 03s. Or these are V-shaped. Zero audio, Cabo, tenor. It's fast. This is the transients here is very tight, very fast. It's V-shaped also. It's a bit too cramped in the stage department for me though. But it's definitely better than these, I guess. But E2K is also better than these. I don't recommend these. I would rather have you save that money and buy something much better for a bit more in price. Either the Tinty 2s or the How's it sound? Hot Mirror. But both of these are not V-shaped. Let me warn you, they are not V-shaped. If you want V-shaped though, however, I would still recommend saving the money and buy the IT00, I guess. I guess that's it for that. I haven't compared them to the other cases, but I've mentioned a lot of times that these are better than those. Yeah, these are better than those. Except if you're looking for that type of more shoutiness in the upper mid-range. The upper mid-range here is a bit lacking in my opinion, but it's not that significant, I guess. It's not a huge problem. The mid-range is not a problem. Detail retrieval, however, is weird also because of the incoherency of the three drivers. Some parts of the music actually have fantastic detail retrieval for its price, but the other parts just crap the bed. If you haven't noticed yet, that it's the two little drivers up there versus the big shit right here. Big piece of crap right there. I don't really know. Maybe all of these drivers just don't fucking work. I don't understand. But it's a lot. Some of music I hear it. These usually instrumentals or like soundtracks or like anime soundtracks. However, sounds pretty fantastic here in the detail department, if it's not the part where there are a lot of bass or like lower frequencies. Yeah, soundstage is normal size. It's about the Blano 3's width. It's a bit wider than the Blano 1's. Imaging is actually pretty precise here, except for the bass, I guess. The bass just blooms everywhere and shits the bed every time, almost every time, I guess. However, the positioning of the overall of the DQ6 is actually pretty good. It has that type of 3D sound that IMs like these usually have. It's pretty good. It's not better than the hard mirror, definitely. If you have the money to buy hard mirror, just buy the hard mirror. And the DQ6, I would recommend skipping them if you have a bit more analytic type of hearing. If you have a more experienced hearing, you'll definitely hear the inconsistency of all the drivers here and incoherency here. So yeah, I guess you got that going for you. I've done a lot of almost all the comparisons here. The E2K still have a wider soundstage. It sounds much more coherent because it's a single driver. Like sounds just don't sound weird, though the bass here is a bit more boosted, but it sounds more normal, I guess. If you I know maybe the market who wants people who want to buy the DQ6, in my opinion, the DQ6 is only for if you want to have the shittiest and weirdest experience with an IM. It's not a shit sounding IM. It's definitely not a shit sounding IM. Let me remind you that. But it's a shitty experience. That's what you're buying with these. If you have like a more experience hearing, I guess, a more experience listening ability to notice these types of things. But if you're a beginner, you probably won't notice these types of things. So yeah, I've compared with every single IM on this table, except for this right here. This copy and paste of the Blano 3's is called Fayal Rosa, if I'm not mistaken. If you're thinking of purchasing one of these, don't. It says beryllium driver. Oh, beryllium driver, very tight sound. It's the crappiest shit ever. If this is not shit sounding, it's a shitty experience. The experience is not as shitty here, but it's shit sounding. It's absolute garbage. I would not even take this for free. I would just throw this away or give it away. Wink wink. That's it for the review. There are actually a lot of things that I would like to rant, but I'll save it for next time. See you next time, I guess. If you're still here, don't forget to watch Jason's video. Godspeed.